17th. This is the Planning and Zoning Committee. I'll do a quick run through attendance, at least of what we have so far. Councilmember Bradford is present. Councilmember Gamble is present. Councilmember Hager's here. Thanks for joining us. I see Vice Chair Rutherford is present, Councilmember Sepulveda is present, and Councilmember Welsh is present. So that gives us 7 for right now, which gives us a quorum. So we can go ahead and get started. We have a lengthy agenda. Just about everything is on consent. I have one item, which is item number 24 that Councilmember Taylor has, which has an amendment. So we will take that up separately. Other than that, Vice Chair Rutherford, let's see what else. Item number, if it's okay with everyone, if the lead sponsor has requested to defer an item, I will also include that on consent, but it'll be consent to defer. So that would be item number 25, which is Ordinance Bill 2022-1578. Councilmember Sledge has requested a deferral of that one for one meeting. So that would be one of those. And then Vice Chair Rutherford has requested to defer items number 44 and 45, which are ordinances BL 2022-1621 and 1622, one meeting as well. We might as well go ahead and take those on consent because there's just so much on there. Is there anything else that any of the members of the committee believe needs to be pulled off at this time? All right, well, seeing none, I will go ahead and get started reading this very lengthy list of captions. So these are resolutions. Item number 1, Resolution RS 2023-1959. The sponsors are Councilmembers O'Connell, Withers, and Foley. Authorizes Two Hands Nashville LLC to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 606 8th Avenue South. Item number 2, Resolution RS 2023-1960. The sponsors are Councilmembers Van Rees, Hancock, Roten, and others. Approves an intergovernmental agreement between TDOT and NDOT for lighting and signal maintenance associated with the bicycles and pedestrian facilities on State Route 6, Gallatin Pike, from Walton Lane to Wiley Street. We have a small series of these. The next one is item number 3, Resolution RS 2023-1961. The sponsors are Councilmembers O'Connell, Taylor, Roten, and others. Approves a similar IGA between TDOT and NDOT for lighting and signal maintenance associated with bicycle and pedestrian facilities on State Route 1, which is also known as West End Avenue or Broadway, from 23rd Avenue North to 8th Avenue South. And I see Councilmember Toombs has joined us, which gives us 8. Item number 4, Resolution RS 2023-1962. The sponsors are Councilmembers Sepulveda, Roten, Withers, and Foley. Approves a similar IGA between TDOT and NDOT for these similar pedestrian and bike facilities on State Route 255, which is Harding Place, from Linbar Drive to near Harding Industrial Drive. Item number 5, Resolution RS 2023-1963. The sponsors are Councilmembers Cash, O'Connell, Roten, and others. Approves an IGA between TDOT and NDOT for the same bicycle and pedestrian facilities on State Route 106, which is 21st Avenue and Broadway, from Pierce Avenue to 19th Avenue South. Item number 6, Resolution 2023-1964. The sponsors are Councilmembers Welsh, Johnston, Nash, and others. Approves an IGA between TDOT and NDOT for lighting and signal maintenance for pedestrian and bicycle facilities on State Route 11, which is Nolensville Pike, from Haywood Lane to McNally Drive. Moving to bills on second reading, item number 7, Ordinance Bill 2023-1648. The sponsors are Councilmembers Sledge, Withers, Pulley, and others. Amends the GIS system by renaming Horton Avenue between 11th Avenue South and 18th Avenue South to DeFord Bailey Avenue. Item number 8, Ordinance Bill 2023-1649. Councilmember O'Connell has joined us, which brings us up to 9 for our committee. We're on a roll. Item number 8, Ordinance Bill 2023-1649. The sponsors are Councilmembers O'Connell, Withers, Pulley, and others. Amends the GIS system by renaming Lifeway Plaza between Reverend Kelly M. Smith Way and 12th Avenue North and 14th Avenue North intersection to Josephine Holloway Avenue. Item number 9, Ordinance Bill 2023-1650. The sponsors are Councilmembers O'Connell, Roten, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes the abandonment and conveyance by quitclaim deed of approximately 0.024 acres of excess right-of-way adjacent to 11th Avenue North, and approving a performance agreement under which a WeGo transit stop will be constructed at no cost to Metro government. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Going back to item number 8, I believe we are still waiting on a departmental review on that one. So if we could pull that from consent, I think we're going to need to defer that one.
Let me call on the planning table.
8 has a recommendation from Planning Commission.
Yeah, this one is actually waiting for emergency communications, I believe.
Got it. I think we'll probably also need to pull number 7. Is that what I'm hearing from legal counsel? So we'll add that. Well, again, for these, like, for deferrals, I'm going to put them on consent for deferral, but
That's
I'll just
fine. I just wanted you to be no, because it said consent to approve in the agenda, so I just want to make sure we had clarity there.
Yeah, thank you for that.
And that's fine. It can be on consent to defer. We just know it's a deferral on the floor.
Great, thank you. Going back to number 9, Ordinance Bill 2023-1650. The sponsors are Councilmembers O'Connell, Roten, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes the abandonment and conveyance by quitclaim deed for approximately 0.024 acres of excess right-of-way adjacent to 11th Avenue North, and approving a performance agreement under which a WeGo transit stop will be constructed at no cost to Metro government. Item number 10, Ordinance Bill 2023-1651. The sponsors are Councilmembers Roberts, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon public utility easement rights for property located at 425A Westboro Drive. Item number 11, Ordinance Bill 2023-1652. The sponsors are Councilmembers Hancock, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government to accept a new sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 908 Anderson Lane, also known as Anderson Townhomes. Item number 12, Ordinance Bill 2023-1653. The sponsors are Councilmembers Withers and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government to accept new public sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 3 properties located on Sunset Road in Williamson County, also known as the Davis Property Sewer. Item number 13, Ordinance Bill 2023-1654. The sponsors are Councilmembers Taylor, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government to abandon existing public sanitary sewer main and to accept new public sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 2521 Clarksville Pike, also known as WeGo North Nashville. Item number 14, Ordinance Bill 2023-1655. The sponsors are Councilmembers Toombs, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government to accept public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for properties located at 600 and 606 Ewing Drive. Item number 15, Ordinance Bill 2023-1656. The sponsors are Councilmembers Toombs, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government to abandon existing public water main and to accept new public water and sanitary sewer main, fire hydrant assembly, and sanitary sewer manholes for property located at 1016 and 1016B West Trinity Lane, also known as West Trinity Townhomes. Item number 16, Ordinance Bill 2023-1657. The sponsors are Councilmembers Sledge, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at Rains Avenue Unnumbered, also known as Fairgrounds Mixed Use Block C. Item number 17, Ordinance Bill 2023-1658. The sponsors are Councilmembers Evans, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government to accept new sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 2 properties located at 1015 Tulip Grove Road and Rachel's Ridge, unnumbered. Item number 18, Ordinance Bill 2023-1659. The sponsors are Councilmembers Syracuse, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes Metro government to abandon existing sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 3 properties located at 2842, 2836, and 2832A Lebanon Pike. Item number 19, Ordinance Bill 2023-1960. The sponsors are Councilmembers Roten, Withers, and Pulley. Authorizes the Metro government to abandon existing public water main, fire hydrant assembly, and easements, and to accept new public water main, fire hydrant assembly, and easements for property located at 5655 Frist Boulevard, also known as TriStar Summit Medical Center South Bed Tower. Moving on to bills on third reading, item number 20, ordinance bill 2022-1483, the sponsors are Councilmember Sledge and Allen, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from IR to SP zoning on properties located at 426, 446, and 464 Chestnut Street and Chestnut Street unnumbered to permit a mixed-use development, all of which is described herein. Item number 21, ordinance bill 2022-1484, the sponsors are Councilmember Sledge and Allen, applies materials restrictions to the above properties. Item number 22, ordinance bill 2022-1525, the sponsors Councilmember Hancock, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from RS 7.5 to R20 zoning for property located at 313 Delaware Avenue. Item number 23, ordinance bill 2022-1531, the sponsors Councilmember Toombs, amends section 17.16.030 of the Metro zoning code regulations to require notice to surrounding property owners for adaptive residential redevelopments. Item 24, we're going to skip for now, and we will come back to that one. Item 25, which is one of those that's for deferral, ordinance bill 2022-1578, the sponsors Councilmember Sledge, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from IWD to MULA NS zoning for properties located at 1276, 1278, 1282, 1284, 1286, 1288, 1290, 1302, 1306, 1308, 14th Avenue South, and 4th Avenue South unnumbered. Both of those are 4th Avenue South. Sorry about that. And that one is for deferral for one meeting. Item 26, ordinance bill 2022-1594, the sponsors Councilmember Toombs, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from RS 7.5 to R10 zoning for property located at 1236 North Avondale Circle. Item number 27, ordinance bill 2022-1595, the sponsors of Councilmember Sledge and O'Connell, amends the Metro zoning code by amending an SP on property located at 1267 3rd Avenue South, zoned SP encompassing 0.96 acres to permit a mixed-use development. Item number 28, ordinance bill 2022-1596, the sponsors Councilmember O'Connell, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from MUIA to SP zoning for properties located at 1414 Church Street and 210, 212, 216, 218, and 220 15th Avenue North. Encompassing 1.2 acres to permit a mixed-use development. Item number 29, ordinance bill 2022-1597, the sponsors Councilmember Toombs, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from RS10 to R10 zoning for property located at 1720 River Drive. Item number 30, ordinance bill 2022-1598, the sponsors are Councilmember Sledge, O'Connell, and Cash, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from a specific plan on property located at 2212 12th Avenue South, zoned SP encompassing 1.92 acres to amend the fire access condition. Item number 31, ordinance bill 2022-1599, the sponsors are Councilmember Sledge and O'Connell, applies materials restrictions to the above property. Item number 32, ordinance bill 2022-1601, the sponsors Councilmember Toombs, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from R8 to R6 zoning for property located at 1022 Alice Street, encompassing 0.16 acres. Item number 33, ordinance bill 2022-1602, the sponsors are Councilmember Sledge and O'Connell, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from IWD to SP zoning on properties located at 521 and 525 Hagen Street, encompassing 0.75 acres to permit a mixed-use development. Item number 34, ordinance bill 2022-1603, the sponsors are Councilmember Sledge and O'Connell, authorizes building restrictions on the above properties. Item number 35, ordinance bill 2022-1604, the sponsors Councilmember O'Connell, amends the Metro zoning code by applying an urban design overlay to various properties starting at the corner of Broadway and 16th Avenue North, zoned MUI 8, encompassing 8 acres. Item number 36, ordinance bill 2022-1605, the sponsors Councilmember Toombs, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from IWD to MUG NS zoning for property located at 2 Vantage Way. That encompasses 6 acres. Item number 37, BL 2022-1606, the sponsors are Councilmember Sledge and O'Connell, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from IR to MULA NS zoning for property located at 1215 4th Avenue South. encompassing 0.38 acres. Item number 38, BL 2022-1610. The sponsors are Councilmembers Taylor and Withers, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from RS5 to RM20A and S for properties located at 709 40th Avenue North and 40th Avenue North unnumbered, encompassing 0.26 acres. Item number 39, Ordinance BL 2022-1612. The sponsors, Councilmember Parker, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from CS to CS-NS, zoning for properties located at 1302 and 1308 Dickerson Pike, located within the Skyline Redevelopment District and Dickerson Pike Sign Urban Design Overlay District, encompassing 1.09 acres. So Parker's with us. That brings us up to 10. Item number 39, Ordinance BL 2022-1612. The sponsors, Councilmember Parker. I just read that one. Sorry about that. Item number 40, Ordinance BL 2022-1613. The sponsors are Councilmembers Taylor and Withers, amends the Metro zoning code by change from CF to MUIA zoning for property located at 1926 Hayes Street and Hayes Street unnumbered, encompassing 0.2 acres. Item number 41, Ordinance BL 2022-1615. The sponsors are Councilmembers Gamble and Van Rees, amends the Metro zoning code by changing a specific plan on property located at West Cap Road unnumbered, zoned R15 and SP, encompassing 7.9 acres to include an additional parcel, which is 03100008100. Item number 42, Ordinance BL 2022-1616. The sponsors are Councilmembers Taylor and Withers, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from RS5 to RM9A zoning for property located at 2803 Torbit Street, encompassing 0.17 acres. Item number 43, Ordinance BL 2022-1620. The sponsors, Councilmember Toombs, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from IWD and OL to MUGA and S zoning for property located at 131 French Landing Drive, encompassing 2.4 acres. Item number 44, BL 2022-1621. The sponsor is Councilmember Rutherford. This is one that's for a one-meeting deferral. This amends the Metro zoning code by changing from AR2A to SP zoning on properties located at 1094, 1098, 1104, and 1110 Barnes Road and Barnes Road unnumbered to permit 16 single-family units and 136 detached multifamily units. Item number 45, BL 2022-1622. The sponsor is Councilmember Rutherford. This also is for a one-meeting deferral, and this one applies materials restrictions to the above property. Item number 46, Ordinance BL 2022-1623. The sponsor is Councilmember Van Rees, amends the Metro zoning code by changing from SP to SP zoning for properties located at 115 and 121 Hart Lane, encompassing 8.92 acres to permit up to 91 attached multifamily residential units. Item number 47, Ordinance BL 2022-1624. The sponsor is Councilmember Van Rees, authorizes building materials restrictions on the above properties. Item number 48, Ordinance BL 2022-1626. The sponsors are Councilmembers Roten, Syracuse, and Bradford, amends the Metro zoning code by applying a historic landmark overlay district for property located at 2901 and 2910 Elm Hill Pike, as well as 2913 Harper Place, zoned R10, encompassing 3.04 acres. Item number 49, Ordinance BL 2022-1627, authorizes building materials restrictions on the same properties. The sponsors are in a little bit different order, but it's the same properties. Same sponsors, just different order on that one. Item number 50, substitute Ordinance BL 2022-1629. The sponsors of Councilmembers Taylor and Withers authorizes building material restrictions for Ordinance BL 2022-1570. This is for property located at 3138 and 3140 Parthenon Avenue. This is for the land swap that we have been discussing and still have legislation on. Do any of those items need to come off of the consent calendar? Councilmember Toombs, let me call on you. Yes, ma'am.
Item number 23.
Item number 23. And what is your intent to do with that?
I have an amendment.
You have an amendment? Okay.
Yeah.
Then we will, hang on just a second. 23. Is the amendment in the amendment packet?
I submitted it, but it was not timely filed, so I'm going to defer it one meeting.
Defer one meeting? Then we will leave it on, but we will mark it as part of our deferral consent. Thank you. Councilmember Parker.
Thank you, Chair. I actually don't need to pull anything off consent now that I think it through. I appreciate, though.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Anything else? So I'm going to go back through all of these items, all of the items on our calendar, except for one, are on. So the one that we do have an amendment for is item number 24. And so that one is not on consent. Otherwise, everything else should be on consent, although some are for deferral. The ones that I have marked for deferral as part of our consent calendar are items number 7, item number 8, item number 23, item number 25, item number 44, and item number 45. Anything else for consent, including deferral? Hearing none, let me call on Vice Chair Rutherford for a motion.
I move approval of the consent calendar.
Terrific, thank you. Is there a second? Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Wonderful. So we do have one item to take up quickly. And that is, it's item number 24. This is ordinance and repeal 2022-1570. This amends, the sponsors of Councilmembers Taylor and Withers. This amends the Metro zoning code by changing from RM20 to SP zoning for a portion of property located at 3138 and 3140 Parthenon Avenue to remit 10 multifamily residential units, all of which is described herein. This again is that land swap that we've been working on with Metro Parks for the Centennial Dog Park. Could I call on the planning table to discuss the amendment? Or just to describe the amendment? You're at the admin table. Sorry about that.
Sorry. So the amendment does two things. The first thing is it changes the sub-area from G4 to G3, which enables the stacked flats, which had always been the discussion. I think that was just an oversight, a drafting error by the applicant that was not caught until now. And then the other thing that it does is it reduces the southwest property line from a 10-foot side yard setback to a 5-foot side yard setback to enable the footprint of the building needed to get up there, because they do have to have 2 stairwells and they need to be able to access it through parking. So it gives them a little more play to do that. So those are the two things that it does.
Okay, and that one was in the amendment packet. Vice Chair Rutherford, would you move the amendment?
Motion on the amendment.
Great. Is there a second? Any discussion? Any other discussion on the amendment? Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the amendment, there's a picture that looks to me like it shows the red area that is becoming the lot that this person will own. And in the planning staff report, that area looks like it's a lot and then a portion of the lot adjacent to it. In the amendment, it looks smaller, as if it's only a single lot. Is that intended to be part of the amendment, or does the picture convey any useful information?
There should be no change to that. The only thing that changed was just changing the sub area, so that the boundaries haven't changed.
Okay.
Anything else, Councilmember Allen?
Did it change?
All right. Any other discussion on the amendment? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, so we have the amendment on. Is there any discussion on the bill as amended? All right, Councilmember Allen.
I literally think.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was serving on the Planning Commission briefly when this came through and was the one dissenting vote. So I just want to hear council members think through the things that made me a little squeamish, and maybe I'll feel better, or maybe we'll agree that we need to talk about this more. My concerns were that this is not consistent with Plan to Play, which says that we want to expand our signature parks, which includes Centennial and Riverfront, and that I think includes adding all this. And it's also not consistent with the Centennial Park Master Plan, which shows this area clearly on multiple drawings as being either part of a dog park or some areas like that. So we spend a lot of time developing master plans. And so I just would like to at least hear other council members comment on giving up so easily. And I understand the logic, because we had this discussion that, you know, if this ends up as sort of a missing tooth in the middle of the property, it makes it even harder to use the land on the opposite side of it. But I'm just frustrated that we come up with master plans and say we want to expand this and it should include all the way to the road. And there currently is one lone single-family house on this side of the road, and the rest of it is Flagpole Hill and Dog Park and green space. And now we're going to allow these 10 units in there, removing them closer to a road. And I understand why that is better than letting them build on the land that they own. So the land swap sort of makes sense. It sure would be nice if we could just eventually, you know, help this fellow find land somewhere else, not in the master plan that's supposed to be part of the dog park. So I would just appreciate if other council members have any thoughts on this. I would like to hear that.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Allen. Any other council members? I see Councilmember O'Connell. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Councilmember Allen, I can only speak to what I know from, again, I've worked with Councilmember Taylor on a number of things just because our districts share a boundary. And I'm aware that he has worked at length on this negotiation. I guess I want to make sure I understand your question with regard to plan to play, because right now we have non-contiguous parcels, and I think what his goal is to create a contiguous area, and I think the only other option would be for Metro to acquire more land in that area. And is that kind of the nature of your question?
So if you look at the map, there are like 3 parcels. There are like 6 parcels in a row. Metro owns some of them, and 2 landowners own 2 of them. They're currently, you know, it's like the smile on a pumpkin. Exactly. Basically, on a jack-o'-lantern. And so I understand moving the teeth closer together, which is essentially what this does. But it just looks to me like in the master plan, we just contemplated slowly and steadily acquiring that property and turning the full thing so that entire corner is, and in that entire side of the road, is area to play on. And so now I understand that we're trying to push it as close as we can to the corner. So I just...
And this is, Mr. Chair, I will say again, knowing that Councilmember Taylor has invested a lot of energy in negotiating directly with the parties involved, and you know, I think I am left with the sense that he may also share at this point, which is I don't know that there is the appetite to do the private property acquisition, and the land swap may be the best we can do for the time being. We have missed other opportunities to acquire significant land, and you know, I know where he has been able to navigate the conversation. And so without the land swap, I think it would just sit there as an ineffective parcel for the park, and still would not allow for plan to play. I guess in this case, we would at least have more contiguous land area to achieve the plan. And but I think I absolutely appreciate the nature of the question, because when I look at it, it'd be the ideal scenario would certainly be to have that entire block.
This is technically 2024.
Thank you for that, Councilmember O'Connell. Any other council members have questions or whatnot? And again, just I think Councilmember O'Connell has summed it up well, and as well as Councilmember Allen, which is that out of 5 or 6 parcels, there's one on a corner which is vacant. Then there's a house. Then there were a couple of vacant parcels. Then there's one at the very end where there was a house which has been removed, but it already has entitlements for development. And so this at least swaps it so that it moves it similar land size, we did increase the entitlements a little bit for the number of units that could be built, but within the same amount of land in order to consolidate some open space there for the dog park. And I was present because I had another matter before the Parks Board, but the Parks Board commentary was that they would love to have all of that land, but just do not have the resources to acquire it at this time.
So then I will just end with a speech on, let's work really hard to get money to acquire like green space and not let it get away from us. So thank you for letting me have that discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilmember Allen. Any other discussion on that? All right, Vice Chair Rutherford, would you bring a motion on the bill as amended?
Move approval of the bill as amended.
Wonderful. Is there a second? Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Wonderful. Thank you. We are going to have a brief presentation now from our bestest friend, Mr. Greg Claxton, on the capital improvements budget and all the stuff that council members sent in. And then following Mr. Claxton's presentation, we may have time for a little bit of questions, but other than that, I know we'll need to move on to the Budget and Finance Committee. But I'll turn it over to Mr. Claxton, and you are recognized.
Thank you, council members. Greg Claxton with the Planning Department. I've got a routine update for you all on the council request process for this year's CIB. For a reminder for folks at home, the capital improvements budget identifies what Metro could spend money on in terms of durable capital items, but does not allocate money. That needs some other process identified in blue on the screen. Finally, the boxes in green show the annual CIB process. We are closing out the first one of these for council requests. As a reminder, we collected your request to retain projects or to add projects in October. We distributed these projects to Metro departments for their review. We've broken out the report back to you. The report back to you, I believe, went out this morning and breaks out projects between those that are new, shown with a 24-2 digits project ID, versus ones that were from prior CIBs. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Okay. Departments provided cost estimates as well as some assessment of whether projects align with their master plans, as well as any update that they have. In particular, we look for when departments say that projects are not necessary to be included in the CIB, either because they can be funded without a CIB entry, because they've been found to be unfeasible for one reason or another, or any other reason. We try to pass that on to y'all so that we can keep out any projects that aren't critical from being within the CIB. I believe there's a meeting next time to discuss the prioritization approach, at which time I believe council staff will distribute a worksheet to take your priorities. As part of that, we'll identify any projects that are recommended for removal for your consideration. And I believe that is all that I have. Thank you.
And Mr. Claxton, that was sent out to council members earlier today, or is it posted online? Or
it is posted online at the Planning Department website under Long Range Planning and Capital Improvements. I believe it was also distributed this morning.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Do any members have any questions for Mr. Claxton at this time? I'll give everyone a minute to take a look, but. If not, I believe that the business, Councilmember Gamble, yep. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm having trouble reading the slides behind me, but I just wanted to, I guess clarify exactly. So is this report just telling us that you have compiled the list from the request from the council, and that final list will be submitted for the budget? Is there anything else council members need to do, or has that process ended and you have compiled and completed your study part?
We have compiled and completed our study part. We've reported back to you to inform you for your prioritization. And if there are any projects that, based on department responses, you want to instruct council staff not to submit into the CIB.
Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. And I heard it is posted online. Is it being emailed out? Or could it be, please?
If it has not been, we'll email it this evening. Yeah.
If it's not out in people's emails today, we'll make sure that it gets out today. Anything else? All right, seeing none, I will declare that the business of the Planning and Zoning Committee is completed and our meeting is adjourned, and I will turn it over to Councilmember Roden for the Budget and Finance Committee. Thank you, everyone.